Well, folks, you hear the magnificent and amazing sounds of those Res Evil basement trumpets, so you know it's time for another Sunday, and that means it's time for another episode of Toad Talk Podcast. This is episode 21 here on this very hot 99-degree Sunday, July 26th. Here, episode 21, and we are all in a state of domination here on this day, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it. But yeah, the original panel is back here. Of course, I am your primary host. I am Croakitoad. I am Tad. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you back for another episode. And we have Raji back in the house again. Who's in a state of constipation. And we also have Grem also here with us.
Yes, and hopefully everyone here is in a state of relaxation.
You have me in a complete state of concentration.
Yep. So let's just rise to the occasion.
Okay. Right. Right. All right. So before we get to the GTA 6, which we will put at the beginning of the podcast this time, we had so many comments that replied last week of the hashtag Tommy. So good for you guys hitting that bookmark at the very end of the podcast and still entering that giveaway last week. That was a nice little tester there for all of you that entered in last week. So good for you guys. I'm proud of you. But before we get into the GTA 6 news, I just want to do a really quick shout out to everyone who commented on last week's episode, which was five days ago, uploaded anyway. And we have Lucinda here that said, I totally get that for horror games about watching the horror before you run or react. I want to see the cool stuff. Doesn't bother me. Let me see a really cool enemy design animation. Let me see the death animation right away as the cherry on top. And she was saying that in reference to last week's trailer of, you remember the first person game where like the creepy lady had the stretchy neck and was chasing the main character around. Yeah, I totally get that, Lucinda. Yeah. I'm just like you. I want to sit there and look and identify the monster instead of just quickly turn around, run away. I want to like deep dive and scientifically look at the texture and the model of the monster. So I'm with you on that for sure. And then Lucinda also says, for WWE 2K26, I have an old friend of mine who loved the Hardy Boys when I was younger. So that's really cool. And I'm glad you put it in the gaming block of the podcast instead of lumping it with CPW. Brought my attention to it. That's awesome. Lucinda. Yeah, we were debating on where to put WWE 2K26, whether to lump it in with CPW or put it in the gaming block. We decided to go gaming block, and it sounds like we made the right decision. So glad we did that. She also says, I never could get Fallout 3 to work on my PC, so I'm happy to get a remake. I'm in the Fallout New Vegas Die on the Hill group, so I'll be curious to see how Fallout New Vegas remake goes. If Obsidian is involved, I am optimistic. And I think Raji can fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure Obsidian is back. Like they announced that the team with the partnership with Obsidian is in fact back for the remaster of the game. I think that's one of the things they did confirm for New Vegas. And then she also said, as an aside, the OG Nightmare on Elm Street movies were nightmare fuel. That is all. Yep, absolutely. Before they went into comedy hour. And then she says, also, I know Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. And it's the only superhero movie I've seen. That's like Carlos's voice actor from RE3 remake coming back as Chris Redfield in RE Village. He's still sounding like the bro dude. Didn't even change it up. There would need to be a big personality acting shift to justify using actors so well known in the same world, so to speak. Absolutely agree. Yeah. First thing people is going to see as soon as the Doctor Doom helmet comes off is, wait, that's Iron Man. Yep, totally. That's exactly what I agree. To answer your question, I'm just playing the new resynced remake version of AC4. I'm playing it to do content in the game 100% based on vibes. Main story for the weekends for now, though, too early to tell if we tried 100%. Okay. So that was me asking her what her plans were for Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Sounds like just a casual stroll on the ship out in the open seas. That's awesome. Lucinda, thank you for your post last week's episode, and for your very long post. That's amazing. I really like that, and I'd like to see more posts like this from you viewers out there, whether it be YouTube or Spotify. But also we have a comment here from Grem RCWF. No idea who that is. He says, it's helpful for the stat person and maybe a few of you since we goofed a bit. Then Kyle Diaz on YouTube says, I need a new Nightmare on Elm Street film because Friday the 13th is getting its own spinoff. Yep. We talked about that last week. Nightmare on Elm Street getting a kind of a resurgence here with a new production and new copyright. We have Fuse for Spence. Congrats on 20 amazing episodes, guys. Here's the many more. Thank you, Spence. Thank you for continuing to listen to us every week. We appreciate you. Chris is a deviant on YouTube says, I have a feeling that Doomsday will be a massive letdown just based on that trailer. Snake Kennedy, repeat viewer as well. He says, hell yeah, let's effing go. Happy 20 episodes, man. Thank you, Snake Kennedy. Thanks for sticking with us every week and replying in the comments. We appreciate you. James Raver says, congratulations on 20 episodes. Thank you, James Raver. We appreciate you as well. Green Gamer Boy says, I'm interested in how they're planning to do the COD live action because in the wrong hands, it'll just be another action slop. Totally agree with you, Green Gamer Boy, bro. Totally agree with you. If done right, it could be an awesome game, game adaptation. If done wrong, we've already got so many of those out there, don't we? Azarain comment on YouTube. He says, talking about the COD movie, it will likely be both of the original Modern Warfares. Imagine they have first-person moments, then it opens in on an airport in first person, and you hear, remember, no Russian. Whew. That might be too hot for TV there, Azarain. I actually commented back and I said, but then a pop-up would appear on the movie asking if you like to skip the cutscene. Those who know. And then Signify says, we know you goofed. Even hashtag Tommy knows you goofed, but it's okay. We'll let it slide this time. Well, thank you, Signified. I appreciate that. And thanks for entering everyone over on YouTube in the hashtag Tommy for another round of entries to GTA 6. And then over on Spotify, not to leave you guys out, you guys commented on last week and you said, hell yeah, guys, congratulations on 20 episodes. I'm so proud. From Chris, who, if I'm not mistaken, won the Star Fox. If that's the same Chris.
I believe it is, yes.
And if it is, that's awesome, Chris. If you want to send us a picture of your Star Fox or anything, let us know. We'll throw it up on the podcast.
They already did.
Oh, they did? Why didn't I get this?
I can't remember if he sent it to me or if it was in the channel. I'll have to find it and send it.
Sounds like a lack of concentration, to be honest.
Sounds like total intimidation.
Yeah, for Raji.
So wait, was it actually Star Fox? It's a picture of Star Fox. Is that what?
I got it right here. I'm about to send it to you. Just keep talking.
Oh, okay, we're doing this live, brothers. We're doing this live. No cuts here.
As we do every week.
Yeah, as we do. Fuse for Spence over on Spotify also says, huge congrats on 20 episodes. You guys are absolutely killing it. Thank you, Spence, for double dipping on the comments last week. We appreciate that and actually encourage that. So thank you for listening to us on YouTube and Spotify. Everybody, we appreciate your support and listening to us for 21 episodes now. Oh, where was this posted at? Was this in Discord?
I guess it was a DM. I forgot to post it.
Come on. Well,
wow.
Listen, it's been a long few weeks. Give me a break.
From 20 days ago, Chris, if you win another one, send it directly to me. From 20 days ago, Chris sends a picture of him receiving his Star Fox for Nintendo Switch 2 with the, what is that, a red? Oh, that's the red case. Yeah, nice. That's awesome. Awesome job there, Chris. Thanks for sending that over. Is there a way you could like just quickly throw that up on the thingy here? Hold on. We're doing this live, guys. We're doing this live. Give me 1 second. Let's see. I want to just add, whoa, OBS got an update for this. Hold on. I'm getting it.
Are you sure?
Yep. I got it right here. There it is. There it is. No, it's right there. All right.
Okay.
Podcast listeners, you are now looking, avert your eyes to the podcast screen. There is Chris with his copy of Star Fox, the last giveaway that we did. He officially got it in the red Nintendo Switch 2 case there you see on screen. Thank you, Chris, so much for posting that. We appreciate that, and we hope you have enjoyed Star Fox on Nintendo Switch 2. And also, not congratulations, but thank you to Raji for hooking all that up, because he does this and doesn't tell me or Grem anything. He just comes in and just drops a load on us. No pun intended.
Whoa.
But with that being speaking of loads that are going to be dropped, he's here this week to drop one on all of you this week for this week's GTA 6 hashtag. Maybe some news, just to remind you guys what's going on. Release date for the 2 copies of GTA 6, the $100 Ultimate Edition Grand Prize and the $80 Standard Secondary Prize for the raffle we'll be doing in November.
Yeah, so this week's keyword is going to be ammunition. Ammunition. And sorry, excuse me. There will be 2 copies given away on the Sunday before November 19th, which is the release day of the game. We're going to draw 2 names. The first name will be for the Ultimate Edition. Or no, sorry. The first name will be for the base game. And then the last name we draw will be for the Ultimate Edition.
All right, there you go. Hashtag Ammunation. Or you can just do Ammunation. It doesn't matter, either one. I kind of like the hashtags, to be honest. It makes it easier to see. But yeah, however you're listening, whether it's YouTube or Spotify or... Oh, you can't comment on Apple Podcasts, I don't think. But yeah, drop the comments in there. And yes, you can double dip. You can post on YouTube and Spotify. They both count as an entry. So remember that and keep that in mind. We actually encourage you to do that. Also, real quick, before we jump over to Bring Your Own News, I just want to make an announcement, everybody, that I think we are going to be trying to expand out to 2 more platforms for our podcast. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty easy setup to do so. But those of you out there that are more familiar or you listen more on iHeartRadio or Audible, which is like the Amazon, I think we're going to be expanding out to those 2 platforms as well after this episode. So if any of you out there use or utilize iHeartRadio or Audible, keep your eyes peeled for Toad Talk podcasts. Check it out. And we appreciate your support on those services and platforms as well. All right.
Look at that. We hit 20 episodes and we're branching out. Look at that. We're growing.
Yeah. How awesome is that? I'm going to have to redo the graphic and everything and add those 2 icons.
Yeah, that'd be fine, though.
All right. Well, we're going to do our Bring Your Own News. I'm actually going to go last, I believe, for the first time ever, because I've got kind of a segue and kind of a longer thing I'm going to be bringing to the table today to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. So in that stead, Raji's going to kick things off this week with Bring Your Own News.
Yes, it has been 3 decades since the man, the myth, the legend, Rick Moranis has made an appearance in public. Been any film. We all know he's coming back for Spaceballs 2, and he made an appearance at the San Diego Comic-Con and was greeted with a standing ovation from the crowd, which warmed my heart. And I just want to give a shout out to Rick Moranis and the whole team behind Spaceballs. That was an amazing moment. I'm sure he felt so good about it that everyone missed him, remembered him, and he's excited for the new Spaceballs.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember a few podcast episodes ago, we covered Spaceballs 2 and we were pretty excited about that. So that's really cool. He's been kind of like out of the loop, kind of away from society and publicity.
30 years.
Yeah. So for him to come back.
Everyone was chanting his name and gave him a standing. It was probably a good 2-3 minute standing ovation. And it was just cool to see. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Grem, what you got?
I didn't want to kind of touch that a little bit, but at the same time too, that also, just hearing that is amazing. I'm very, very glad. And also, thank you to the people that actually did give him a round of applause and, standing ovation, everything like that too. They didn't have to, but they did. And it was rightfully so. I mean, he's a really good actor. But anyways, back to Bring Your Own News. I wish I had done this a little bit earlier in the month, because it could have helped one of you guys. Did you know that in July, it is UV Safety Month as well? And that means wearing like protective clothing and sunglasses, seek shade, so you're not sunburnt or anything, using sunscreen.
I don't ever take my shirt off, so I know it ain't me you're talking about.
Yeah. So, I mean, this person, I believe, got sunburnt maybe twice already in about maybe 3 weeks' time. So just wanted to let you know, Tad, I know it's the end of July, but it is UV Safety Month. So you really should be kind of looking at those websites, or anyone else listening to our podcast, but mainly you maybe.
Well, thank you. I honestly don't know who you could be actually referring to, you and listen to both. But thank you for that amazing bit of information there.
Quite welcome.
You put me in a state of...
Go on.
I can't think of a word right now.
Woo!
Yeah.
You just have a whole list of those words in front
temptation.
Yeah, you did. Temptation for what? Going outside?
No, putting some sunscreen on.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You've convinced me. All right. Speaking of temptation, I guess I'll segue over into what I want to bring to the news this week, and it is another. What? Did I miss something?
I said here. No, I said here we go. Get ready.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have a official trailer number 2 for the Resident Evil movie from Zach Cregger. This is the third time that it's been brought up here on the podcast, but we all know Resident Evil is near and dear to me. We're going to watch the trailer. I have not seen this full trailer yet. I'm already seeing here on the very first scene that it's something we've not seen before from the original trailer. So we'll just let this play out, take a look at it, and then I will reply as to what I think about the trailer now, and then also Zach Cregger's thoughts that he had at the very same Comic-Con that they just brought up about Rick Moranis, because Zach Cregger was there to talk about Resident Evil the same weekend. So we'll let this trailer play out, and we'll give our thoughts.
Hey, man, I gotta be 7. Do you know where I can take this? Excuse me, oh my God. Anybody order a kidney or liver or whatever this is? Anybody? It seems like it's kind of important.
Hey, you got time for another run?
No, I'm wrapped up for the...
It's outside the zone, so it pays double.
I could do that. Sweetheart, I'm sorry. The signal sucks here. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna stay with Katie for a bit, I think.
Michelle, please do not go stay with freaking Katie.
I also hurt my feelings that you don't even care enough to come home and have this conversation.
Seriously, I'm working. This could be some 8-year-old boy's heart or someone's mom's brain. Hello? Hello? There's an emergency here. I was wondering if I could use your phone.
Hi, you've reached Michelle. Leave a message.
Hey, baby, I'm really sorry that we got disconnected earlier. Some things have happened, and I can't get a hold of police. Bullets. Could you just call me back on this number, please? I love you.
Everything that has happened in this town transpired in a matter of hours. You've got no idea what you've got there in your hands.
Yeah, where was it going again?
Raccoon City General.
Hey, no sweat.
Okay, I know you guys are expecting like a 1 hour long thing from me, but I'm going to shock you all and just simply say that I previously gave my thoughts about this initially, but the more that I am able to look at this trailer now here and get a little bit more explanation about this, all I'm going to say is I'm actually really eagerly looking forward to this movie. I just wish that Zach Cregger had not used the Resident Evil name. I think if he had used like something like Zombie City or Night of the Dead or some iteration of that, I would be like super stoked to watch this. This looks really good. I love everything of what they show in this trailer, from like the woman zombie that he runs over to the creature coming out of the doorway that we saw in the original trailer. Obviously, the Resident Evil inspirations there. You see the typewriter, the shotgun again, him scavenging and searching for supplies and shotgun shells. Makes you think that, again, like we said before, that you are the player of a game, but he is the character that you portray in these games like this. I like that how they give him a little bit more backstory about what he's doing, why he's doing this on this night, his relationship problems with his significant other, and that he's like I don't know what you would like, a courier or something for organ donations and stuff, and that's like his job. And he just kind of stumbles into this situation in Raccoon City. man, just take the Resident Evil title off this and make it unrelated to Resident Evil. Don't make it Resident Evil. Don't tag it with Resident Evil. Just make it something else. And I would be like super, super stoked for this. Like, I'm still going to go see this. But the more I watch this and hear about this and now see this trailer, I understand that this is going to just be like this guy's story. And he just happens to be parallel with like the Resident Evil. I don't even want to say the Resident Evil universe, because I'm just trying to block that out of my mind. It's just a random guy going to a random city, and anytime that it gets brought up that's Raccoon City or Resident Evil, I'm just going to block that out and just think of it as like basically like his other projects like Barbarian and Weapons. It has nothing to do with Resident Evil. God, I just wish he would just take the Resident Evil off. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. Just take the Resident Evil off of it, change it to something else, and remove the Raccoon City references. And this looks super good. Like, just as good as his other projects. That's where I'm going to leave it. Also, I know I mentioned that he was at the Comic-Con and he made some statements in front of the crowd there. And he basically said things of the ilk of like, no, this is not a one-for-one adaptation. You know, the same things that he's been saying before, just to reiterate to a live audience, I guess, that he's not making a one-for-one movie. This is his own take on it. And honestly, you can take, whoever's listening, you can take this for what it's worth. I feel like, just like the Paul Anderson movies before this, I consider this just like a fanfic. Someone has probably played some Resident Evil games before and knows some of the lore, or maybe knows a lot of it, and has just decided to take their own take on it and go with their own, just take the premise and build from that and just do what they want. And then therefore it just turns into a fanfic. And that's what I think this is. This is just a fanfic movie. You can hate me for saying that if you want, but that's exactly how I view this. And the fact that he just basically told everybody at the Comic-Con, he's like, I'm not making a one-for-one. If you expect any of the main characters from the game, you're going to be disappointed. This is my own take on it. I'm just taking the Resident Evil and I'm doing my own thing with it. And I think everybody out there that is a Resident Evil fan like me, and I'll be done after this, but I think everyone that's a Resident Evil fan like me is just like suffering from PTSD from every attempt that we've ever seen in a Resident Evil when it comes to movies and film and television. And we're just like, we're done. We're like over this. This movie looks really good. Just remove the Resident Evil off of it and make it its own thing. Make it literally anything else. Just remove the Resident Evil. I know it's not going to happen. I'm just saying this rhetorically, but just take the Resident Evil off of it, and this would be so much better. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I'm still going to go see it. It looks like it's, what did it say for release on theaters here? We're like 2 months away, right? Yeah, September 18th. So I will be going to see this in theater. I'll be reporting back and let you know my thoughts about it. So we'll know then for sure. 2 months out, less than 2 months out. Raji, what are your thoughts? Did this trailer change your opinion about anything from what we originally saw before? And are you in agreement with me? Like, remove the Resident Evil stuff off and make it its own like zombie movie, and it would be so much better. If you're not going to go all the way with Resident Evil, why are you tagging it with Resident Evil? Do you agree with that, or do you think he's doing the right thing here?
I think, one second. I think he's just doing what every fan wants to do with Resident Evil. And I know there's gonna be a lot of he knows there's gonna be a lot of criticism coming with that, because of people who are faithful to the stories of all the games and want to see the stories come to life on the screen. But for him to come out and say that it's not a adaptation of the game, it's just his own story within the universe, let's just give it a chance. Let's give it a chance. I'm sure. He's not going to show everything off at once and give us all the Easter eggs. I think the Easter eggs will connect the dots for us and help Resident Evil fans to enjoy this movie. I know diehard Resident Evil fans probably want to enjoy this movie. I'm not saying it's an automatic no for you whenever you go see it and you're automatically hating it. But I'm just telling you, everybody go into a movie with an open mind. Just go into it with an open mind. And if you think about Resident Evil, you're probably not going to like it. So do what Tad does and just block out everything Resident Evil related and just act like you're watching another zombie movie. And you should enjoy it. So I'm gonna give it a chance.
I'm definitely going in with an open mind, but I'm just disappointed. I really wish he hadn't have just went down this Resident Evil rabbit hole and just tagged this script on it. Like, it almost feels like kind of like he had a script in mind and he's like, oh, you know, I can get the rights to Resident Evil. I'm just going to throw Resident Evil on this. But I had already planned for this movie. But we're going to call it Resident Evil just because I can or whatever. And, you know, I don't know. It looks really good. I just take the Resident Evil off of it. What are your thoughts on this, Grem?
Yeah, I was kind of getting confused too, and I had to kind of do a little fact check on this because I thought at first that this was kind of taking place around where Resident Evil 2 was, but I'm hearing that it's not, because what threw me off was the cell phone in this trailer, and I was like, wait, isn't this supposed to be like in like the late 90s? And apparently it's not. But you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I was about ready to say that too. It's basically like he had the script for this and decided, you know what would make it better? Oh yeah, we just put the word Resident Evil in front of it and go from there. The zombie part, and then like the zombie walking away after that, and then just kind of like freezing up is very confusing. I don't see many zombies like do that. They're, you know, they just keep going, you know. I don't know. It looks good. It is very confusing for me because I'm like trying to like, okay, yeah, it's supposedly now like in the 2026 era of when like this is supposed to be happening, but like you're throwing in Resident Evil with like Raccoon City mention, and we knew this was going to happen too. Like they were going to do little bits of this here and there, like, you know, the mentioning of Raccoon City, the typewriter that you pointed out as well, looking for like the shotgun with the ammo and everything. I'm just
gonna butt in for a quick second. I do remember him saying, I think either QuakeCon, good God, either at Comic-Con or a different interview, that is a modern day timeline. So the timeline is adapted to modern day times. So if people are confused, yes, it takes place in 2026 instead of 1998.
He confirmed that. He confirmed at the Comic-Con.
Yeah,
he said that on the stage. Yep.
So yeah. So I guess this guy's job is because the outbreak is still going on. That's why he's running, you know, like human parts and stuff to different locations. But that also means that I guess Raccoon City is like back. That loaded up so that when, you know, Resident Evil 11 or 12 happens, that Raccoon City is going to be thriving again. You know, it's just so many weird, different, like. The movie is not lining up, I feel like, with the name of it. And like you said, Tad, like it could be called Evil Residence for all we know. Like, and it would have been just fine. Like, I don't know. It very, very confusing. You know, just open mind, I guess, in terms of just don't think of it as Resident Evil. Just think of it as you're going to go see a zombie movie and just go from there.
Yeah. I think if he like just renamed it to like Quarantine Zone or Night of the whatever, I would appreciate this movie so much more, because it looks really good. I'm giving it props. It looks really good. I want to go see this, but then it's just like, why tag it with Resident Evil? No. Just make it your own identity, man. You don't have to do this. You've already got barbarians and weapons under your belt. You don't need Resident Evil to make a movie like this. And it's just so tarnished and so beaten and bruised as it is throughout the years. And anyways, as I said, I'm still going to see this. And he did confirm on the stage that this is a 2026 modern take. So that's why, you know, I guess he heard from a lot of the critics on the original trailer, like, well, it's Resident Evil, but he's got a cell phone and there's all this modern technology. This is supposed to be taking place in 1998. And why is there snow? It's Raccoon City. And he specifically made mention on the Comic-Con stage as well here at the event recently that he was very emphatic on making the movie like being a snow setting, because I remember him quoting, not a verbatim, but he was like, how cool is a horror movie in the snow? It's so cool. And I agree. I like the snow effect. Snow and horror is really cool, especially get the blood on the snow. I noticed there's a lot of that effect in this.
I was gonna say that's actually perfect because you can actually see more of the gore. So yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, there's just something about the red blood on the snow that's really cool, and he utilizes that a lot here. And he confirmed that on the stage. He was very much emphatic on the fact that he wanted this movie to be about being in the snow. So, well, needless to say, again, like I said the first time around, I'm going to see this. We'll see what I think about it. I will report my thoughts and feelings back here, but like Raji said, and like I said, I'm going to be blocking everything Resident Evil about this. I'm going to be blocking out and just picturing this as just another zombie flick. And I'm going to judge it based on that. But for those of you that cannot create that level of separation in your mind, I understand. Us Resident Evil fans have been wanting that 1-for-1 since, video game movie adaptations were a thing. And we're even with a guy like Zach Cregger who has the ability to do such a thing isn't doing it. We're just kind of left disappointed one more time when it comes to Resident Evil, but we'll see how it goes. That's for sure in 2 months. All right, but that was what I wanted to bring to the table, and we immediately knock off the movie block. So we hit 2 birds with 1 stone. So there you go. And so we're going to go straight to video game block now. We have 4 games to check out. This first one is a game that was revealed on 2 days ago. This is through IGN. It's a new Batman game, and it's actually a 4-player co-op game, 1 to 4-player cooperative detective adventure game. And Raji's already got a bone to pick with this, but we'll watch the trailer here real quick. This was actually revealed at Comic-Con 2026, by the way. But we'll take a look at the trailer and see what it's about.
Gotham is sick. A poison spreads through its veins. Rot in its foundations. The cops, sworn to protect it, can't see what's coming. I need eyes on the streets to scan the walls. Piece together what they burn. Diffuse what they left behind. Dig deep and root out these villains. Gotham depends on it. Chaos from every angle. Truth from only one. Batman, Caped Crusader Chronicles.
Okay. Wow. It didn't really... I mean, unless that was the game UI that it showed, I don't know. It didn't really make it very apparent of what the game is going to look like or what the gameplay style is going to look like here, unless they showed it here and it just kind of melds into the rest of the trailer. I'm not really sure, but the synopsis here of the game says... Gotham's darkest crimes won't solve themselves. Go solo or gather your crew and dive into the noir-drenched 1940s Gotham City of Batman Caped Crusader animated series where every alley hides a secret and every case leads deeper into the shadowy depths of Gotham's criminal minds. In this cooperative party game for 1 to 4 players, you'll join forces with Renee Montoya as part of Batman's inner circle, uncovering evidence, chasing leads, and confronting iconic villains across 11 gripping episodes. Test your detective skills to surface clues in 11 detective minigames. Investigate, interrogate, deduce, and decode your way through the crime webs woven by 10 of Gotham's most devious criminals, including Scarecrow, Babyface, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, Dollmaker, Lynx, Music Meister, and of course the Joker. And we just got some pictures here just dropped. So let's take a look at this. Oh, I gotta log into this thing. Well, you probably looked at them, so I'll pass it over to you. But my initial thoughts on this, interesting game, 1 to 4 player, always piques my interest. And I'm not like a huge Batman fan, but I have played the games. I do like Batman. I like Batman more for the villains. I feel like Batman has the best villains of any superhero like theme or show or storyline. Batman just has so many awesome villains. more so than Superman or anybody else. So that always piques my interest just because of the villains that Batman has to face. Batman's cool too, depending on the version. But this looks like more of like an investigative game. And 1 to 4 players. I mean, that's pretty cool. I wish the trailer just kind of showed off a little bit more of what you're getting with this game. It just seems like more like a teaser thing, and it just kind of leaves you hanging. It says it will be available July 31st, so that's a few days from now. So very short release from when they dropped the trailer at Comic-Con. But yeah, there's also another caveat to this game, and that is why Raji has a bone to pick on this one. So for that, I will pass it over to him.
Yeah, it's exclusive on Amazon Luna. Yeah.
What even is that?
It's their gaming service.
Oh, it's like browser based, or
Yeah, you just get on the Prime Video app on any, like, on your TV or on your computer, and you can just play games on your TV and all that stuff.
oh, okay.
But this game is actually giving me. It's actually a mix of games. There's some Jackbox element. It's Jackbox. Stop talking and nobody explodes, or whatever that bomb defusing game was. So it's definitely very, very party game flavored. So it's not your typical Batman kind of game. It's literally like a party game, cooperative. There's, like, looking at this picture here, there's a game where you're trying to do something, but you're trying not to make noise as well. The bomb defusal, one person is defusing the bomb while another person is relaying them information that they're getting fed on their phone, or on their app or whatever. So I can see this being fun for a community night with us. But yeah, it's kind of weird, and I don't know how the story fits in.
It's very much like it's kind of hard to explain. It's like a hybrid game, because you're starting to get these games that are like on the Netflix service and other services, like Netflix games, like that game we covered a few podcasts ago. You're starting to see more and more of these games come out that are not on your typical like console or Steam or Epic. And now you're starting to see like Amazon and Netflix starting to get in the gaming world. It just kind of throws us for a loop here.
All right, so I guess it's like technically a game/TV series that you're going to be playing. It says play the series. I don't know if you've read this already. I know you read the synopsis. I don't think this was part of it. Dive into the world of Batman Cape Crusader animated series. Play your part as a detective, taking directions from Renee Montoya and Batman himself. Voiceover from series actress Hamish Linklater is Batman. Michelle C. Bonilla as Montoya. Crack the cases. Go solo or team up with friends as part of the GCPD task force to help Batman battle crime and solve mysteries to help Gotham and civilians. Keep Gotham and its civilians safe. 11 mysterious episodes await. Experience original episodes inspired by the series that pull you into the art, story, characters, and vibe of Gotham and its notorious criminal minds. 11 challenging minigames. You'll need your detective instinct and keen eye to spot clues, complete objectives, and solve puzzles in 3 to 5 minigames to complete each episode successfully. Complete all 11 episodes to get the full story or play just your favorites. Completing episodes unlocks the minigames to play anytime you want. All this plus goal, objective, and clue variations of the minigames as you play, combined for 10 plus hours of gameplay and replayable fun.
Okay. Grem, what are your thoughts on this? Does this appeal to you at all? I just kind of wish they'd show a little bit more of like what you're getting into when you start to play this.
Yeah. Also, Raji touched on it too. It's like a Jackbox thing. So unless you have like a group of friends, or even like a group of friends like around you, not just so much as online, I can see kind of the allure. At the same time too, is this worth getting their premium service to play it? I would probably kind of venture towards no on this, unless you're like a huge Batman fan and you love like the like how to escape in the escape rooms and things like that in real life. I don't know if this is really gonna hit too many people, so I feel like it's kind of like a last gasp to try to get more people into getting their premium service for this, because I mean, if you have an account, that's great, but I think you have to have the premium, otherwise you do like a 7-day trial or something.
All you need is Amazon Prime.
Okay, yeah, so you need Prime service. Okay.
So, I mean, it's 2026. I mean, I know a lot of people have Prime, but some people still on the fence about Prime. I didn't even know this was a thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you had like friends that you can kind of co-op couch kind of deal with this, I think that would be a lot of fun. But other than that, I mean, I don't see too much of the allure of playing a game like this on your TV when you could just, play a game like on a console or even on your PC.
Now, my question is, as a streamer, as a content creator, do you think this would be a game that I could stream and then other people participate, watching the stream with their phones? I mean, you'd almost have to like watch it real time.
Yeah. It says inputs use phones as controllers.
So I
And
wonder.
it says gameplay, local co-op, single player. So it seems like it's better off. I mean, it can be done with a Discord call. You just stream the game
Right.
straight to Discord. It's not like they have to, be on the delay of a stream. But it's 2026. We figured out how to get around local co-op stuff. So
Yeah.
I'd be down to play this, I'm sure. Now my question is does only one person have to have Prime to play this game? Is it like a room code kind of thing where you can still play and just join the room on your phone? You don't have to actually have the game booted up on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Jackbox. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting questions. We'll have to deep dive into that and check it out. I mean, I have an Amazon Prime, so I could definitely check it out. But yeah, one on our radar. You can definitely expect more Netflix games and Amazon Luna games. That seems to be another venture in the gaming world. That is not what we're normally used to. Okay, moving on to our next trailer. This one is called MOLDRISE. Trailer came out for this 6 days ago. This is another indie game. It's available on Steam. Is it actually available right now? Yes, released. Yeah, it was released 6 days ago. So this game is called MOLDRISE. Let's take a look at it and see what it's about.
I need to get up to the roof. Up. To the roof. Up. Up. Everyone in this building wants something. This infection started in my foot. And now it's in my head.
All right, that one's called MOLDRISE. It came out 6 days ago, and there's just simply it says it started in your foot. Now it's in your head. All that remains is the command: go up, meet strange neighbors, make bad trades. Every ascent teaches you what you should have done differently. So it sounds like a roguelike. Each run is different. You start at the bottom of this complex. You work your way up the stairwell. You're passing by all these different apartments along the way with all kinds of cast of characters that want you to do things, multiple things that allows you to keep going up, I'm assuming. And if you make it all the way to the top, I'm assuming that's where you finish the game. But I'm guessing you're on like a time limit or like a meter where the mold in your foot, I guess is what it is, goes to your brain. That's when it's game over. And every choice you make is a consequence. I'm just assuming, but this is what I'm gathering from the trailer here. But yeah, I like the graphic style. The cast of characters look very interesting. You get all kinds of different ones. Some of them creepy. Actually, most of them look pretty creepy. And there's just something about the, and also I'm getting like Silent Hill 4 vibes from this a little bit as well. Which I don't know if was intentional or not, but very much so. And a little bit of backrooms as well with this, but, there's just something about having like this mold infection in your foot, and the longer you go on, it like spreads and goes to your head. There's something like ewy about, like sick about that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the word. Just something like disgusting, like about that. Having a mold in your foot, and it's growing the longer you go. I don't know. There's something about it like being in your foot. I don't know. This is kind of it's like, ugh. But
Sounds like domination.
complete. Can't think of one. But yeah.
Vomit Nation.
Yeah. But yeah, this looks interesting. Definitely take a look at it. Again, it came out 6 days ago on Steam. It's definitely something that I would definitely play for sure. And yeah, I'll definitely have to give this a shot. Raji, what are your thoughts on MOLDRISE? Is this something that you might consider playing? Does it look appealing to you at all, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, if I'm on acid. This is sending me for a trip, dude.
It kind of,
but I'm up to play anything, so
it's there's almost this like, and Grim will probably know this. There's almost this like new, and it's been around for a few years now. There's almost like this new revolution in indie gaming when it comes to like these horror / just very awkward style games that have this kind of graphic style attached to it, with these very awkward and weird, just very strange cast of characters in games like this. I know that I played one and I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it's the one where you're the gas station attendant and the characters come to the window and request things. I can't think of it right now. Just as one comparison, but there's been many. And there's almost like this subgenre of horror indie now that have this kind of. I'm not trying to compare the gameplay because it's completely different. I guess that one was kind of like a roguelike too in a way, but yeah, just the theme and the aesthetic of this is there's almost like this new indie horror revolution of games like this that kind of look like this with this graphic style, the cast of characters, just the creepy weirdness of the game like this. Grim, do you agree with this? Is this something that you have kind of noticed as well through games that I've streamed, games you've seen on Steam and stuff? And what are your overall thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying. And honestly, when I first saw like the beginning of this trailer, I thought maybe this was going to be kind of like a game like the Exit 8, where you're like seeing different things on different floors, and whether or not you have to continue or go back down or something like that. It's weird that it has like a story to it, but at the same time too, you're figuring out like which is the better path, basically. So you're having a game where you're playing a game and you're having multiple endings to it, and you have to figure out which ending is the correct ending, I guess. So help make sure you don't help person on 8 or floor 8, but make sure you help the person on floor 11 before you help floor 9. Things like that. It kind of looks like that's kind of how the game is going to be played. I didn't realize that you had like a little health bar at the bottom left. I just noticed that. At the same time, too, I thought it was pretty clever. Like in the title, it's funny how that just popped up. The L has a foot, which is kind of interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up that word. But yeah, it looks like this actually has an actual story rather than just kind of the scary elements of like the horror games that we've kind of seen with the indie game scene. It actually, your choices kind of matter on who you help, who you're not helping, and probably the way you do it as well, I imagine, will also have a spin on it. Like, for example, that one said Home Sweet Home, but the other one had like Help Me on the bottom, like in red or blood, so to speak. So it's I don't know. It's unique. I feel like it's like it almost like on its own, because again, it has like a story that you have to follow through, and it just seems like you'll have different endings, but a lot of different endings to try to find the correct way to solve and figure out how to actually win at this game. So yeah, at first I thought it was going to be something like Exit 8, but that kind of flipped the bill on me there.
Yeah, definitely changed from. I kind of thought that too at the start. Was the fact that it was going to be like an anomaly game, and no, it's more like a roguelike where you are just continuing to ascend, and I guess when you reach the top, which in a way is kind of like an anomaly game in that premise where you have to keep going until you reach your goal. But this one looks like you just have a run, and it's RNG each time, so the run's different every time, and maybe you'll get good RNG, maybe you'll get bad RNG, and based on how you help these people in these rooms, you'll either get good stuff or bad stuff, depending on who you help. And maybe they'll trick you and ask you for help, and then you help them, and it's punishment for you for helping them, et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah, because you're wasting time at that point. The mold is growing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or they're just simply point blank just being detrimental to you, and you don't know it until you do what they want you to do. So that is the love and joy of a roguelike for sure. MOLDRISE, it came out 6 days ago. Check it out on Steam. I have this wish listed, and we'll be keeping an eye on it for sure. Okay, we have 2 games left. This one's probably the biggest one we're going to talk about. I know a ton of people in the Croakitoad community are high up on this game and probably super excited to hear news about a new part of this game coming out. This is a new chapter for the game, and we'll watch the trailer real quick. Whew, this is a long one. Should we just watch the whole thing and just get it done? Yeah, that's pretty long.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of it, and then we can just stop.
All right, we'll just start from the beginning and kind of cut, I guess, halfway
Peggy
or something.
16.
One more time? It's my favorite story.
Oh, you know it better than me by now. But if you insist.
Yes! All right, I'm ready. Tell me about the Promised Land.
Long, long ago, in a time few yet recall, life prospered, for the world was rich in plenty. Majestic trees stood sentinel over lands without end. From towering peaks sprang rivers, flowing into and feeding great seas. And noble kingdoms flourished, wanting for naught. But then came the relentless ice. The world grew cold, cold and still. Men succumbed to bitter sorrow. And as we struggled to survive, they marched, and all was lost. We had no choice but to flee to the skies. land below became a frozen waste. But everything changed when they arrived.
The traveler. The one from the sky.
Aye, though in those days, we knew them as... Far Wanderer.
Okay, that was a long one, but I decided to just play the whole thing anyway. We have a lot of people in the Croakitoad community that really cherish Final Fantasy XIV, but this is for a new expansion coming out. It's called Evercold. It's coming January 2027. PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch 2, and of course PC Steam as well. I have to be completely and blunt with everyone listening right now. I have maybe 10 minutes of logged time on Final Fantasy XIV, so I am absolutely not the bastion of knowledge for this at all. I am definitely, much like Grem, more of a World of Warcraft guy, not to make any kind of comparison between the two or anything, but my time is definitely more spent in WoW. But I know that the community for Final Fantasy XIV is very passionate about the game. The people that are into this game are very serious about it and spend a lot of time on this game and really enjoy it from my experience, knowing the people that play these. I would say the graphics of the trailer, the hype trailer, look really good. I mean, obviously they gotta compete with Blizzard somehow, right? Because I mean, you think about the top two paid MMOs. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're looking at World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. So they got to really step up their game when it comes to the trailers to make them look good if they're going to compete on the level of Blizzard, because we know how those animations look. But it looks really cool. I like the new character with the hood. Looks like he's got different abilities here. Maybe it's a new class or something. I'm probably talking out of my butt cheeks right now. You can correct me, fact check me in the comments if I am, because again, I don't know anything about Final Fantasy XIV really, but I will say aesthetically, the color, the mood, the aesthetic, the theme of it looks really cool. You go from like grass greenery theme to like the ice cold taking over, and then you got this guy coming in that looks really cool. Has like this scythe blade, and then this giant massive monster. At first, I thought with like the tree theme, because there's a lot of trees at the beginning, I thought it was going to be like an expansion talking about X-Death from Final Fantasy V, because he started as a splinter in that game, and he was basically a tree monster. But no, not that. I'm sure X-Death has probably already been featured in Final Fantasy XIV at some point. And this is just like a brand new thing, just for the MMO. And real quick before I pass it over to Raji, I'll just read the synopsis real quick. It says, "Prepare for Evercold, the next chapter in an ever-expanding world of Final Fantasy XIV, launching January 2027 for all platforms." And of course, you can go to Square Enix to learn about more. "Warrior of Light and Shattered Skies wander not alone." Comments are turned off by the Final Fantasy XIV YouTube. If Raji is in fact here, do you have any experience with the? If he's not, we can just send it over to Grem. But I guess this question is for the both of you. Do you have any experience in Final Fantasy XIV? If you do, did you enjoy your time? What made you kind of stop playing it? If you have never really dove into it, is this something that looks interesting to you that would like pull you in to start playing this MMORPG game? And do you think looking at this trailer as like an outsider looking in, would this warrant like you paying a monthly sub to start playing? Because I honestly, it looks nice and it's got a really nice like animation vibe to it, but nothing really stood out to me in terms of like actual in-game gameplay. Like we saw like maybe bits and pieces, if that. I don't know if this is even from the game. This all just looks like cinematic stuff. I would have liked to seen what the actual in-game looks like of this. But I know this is just a teaser trailer. And we still have till January for the thing to drop. So, but yeah, Raji, are you there? I'll take that as a no. All right, Grem, it's off to you. I'm passing the baton to you.
Okay.
You're the MMO guy, so let me know.
So I'm glad that you kind of stated that we're both kind of Blizzard guys, especially with myself being a World of Warcraft player. The one thing that I kind of have a gripe on with this trailer is that it really didn't tell you a story. Or like you made a comment of like, if you're a new player, you want to return back. Like there's no real, like, you could barely hear the storyteller to begin with. The music was loud. Everything is going on like in terms of what you see like in a movie kind of aspect. Maybe some of the enemies that you see are, you know, old enemies that you're like, oh, I'm so glad they're finally bringing these into, you know, the game. But and of course I'm a sucker for sights, so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But again, there was really no story like behind this. Whereas like if you see like a WoW trailer, you kind of get an idea of like the characters, the story, and that's kind of rough with Final Fantasy because there's so many characters. Because each Final Fantasy is a little different. You don't just have characters just like showing up after the next Final Fantasy. From what I gathered, it looks very much like this is just a world now that is completely in Evercold or winter. And they're all now flying in ships because they can't handle the harsh weather of what the planet is. So now they're all on like flying ships. That's kind of what I gathered. I could be wrong, and if I am, you can definitely put the comments down below. I'm definitely interested to see what people are saying about this one, if they are into Final Fantasy, or let alone Final Fantasy XIV. But I mean, the movie parts look great. It didn't look like there was anything in terms of in-game video or features that you could kind of see and be like, okay, yeah, this is going to look really cool in the game. It's just all pretty much just the movie aesthetic and get you ramped up for it. And like I said, it just seems like we're all there. You know, you're moving all into ships, which makes a little bit more sense when it comes to like making MMOs. A lot of people don't like the big maps anymore. Now again, most people don't. There are some few people that are still like, oh man, I remember when World of Warcraft and I had to walk like 20 minutes just to get through Barrens and everything. So I'm thinking like, you know, everyone kind of wants the quick, easy, like, oh, let me just go from point A to point B on a ship. That makes things a lot easier. It's going to be a lot easier to make as a video game developer. Things like that where you're kind of cutting cost in a way. But I don't know. I just, there wasn't enough here. Now, again, maybe they'll get a little bit more because like you said, we have until January. Maybe there's a little bit more that we can see. Maybe some more gameplay. I think, you know, that'll be really, really helpful. I have played this game, but I haven't played it for very long, maybe about 2, maybe 3 hours tops. And I always loved the battle theme when I was going into battle when I first started my character. But yeah, hopefully, you know, as we get closer to January, we'll have a little more gameplay. I think that'll kind of turn the tide a little bit on it.
Right. Yeah. It almost feels like this trailer is like appealing to players that are already in the know for this game.
Yes.
So like people that have been stuck with this game and have been a monthly subscriber of it know what's going on and can familiarize themselves with the characters and what's going on here a bit better than someone like me or you that's like basically an outsider looking in. You're like, okay, so what is going on exactly here? So I think maybe they just release this just to appease the people that they know are playing it. Maybe they'll release something a little bit more general for everybody else later, perhaps. Maybe that's the strategy going in on this.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, like, just having the storyteller kind of talk a little bit more about like what's going on, like what is going to be like the future, I think would probably help like those players that haven't played this game in a long time, or just a new player in general, and be like, oh man, okay, now I see what's going on.
Right. Well, hopefully we'll get Signified to post in the YouTube comments and let us know everything about Final Fantasy XIV Online Evercold coming in January 27. Drop in the comments. Give us the synopsis. What's going on here? Help us out understand what makes Evercold good or bad if you're not looking forward to it, and let us know, and we'll follow up on that next week's podcast. All right, we've got one more game to cover here. This is yet another indie game, and this will wrap up our gaming block for this week. This one is called Ringwyrm. What a delightful name for a game. Let's take a look at this one and see what it's about. Man, that is such a strange hybrid of a game. I was getting so many Elder Scrolls Morrowind vibes from this. Like almost every scene was like, okay, this is from Morrowind, and then it throws in like those little four-legged things from Half-Life, the little with the circular eye things, little dog things, like almost enemies like that, and then like a few more like when you're like in the town, it kind of reminded me of Half-Life 2 a little bit. But yeah, I was getting like, this is almost like Morrowind meets Dark Souls meets Half-Life, because you have guns and you can shoot, but it's very much a love the yapping dog there. It's very much, yeah. This is a strange one. I don't think I've quite seen a hybrid quite like this before. You have the health meter there, the DF meter. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe a defense or shield or something. You just have like a lot of different games rolled up into one here. Very intriguing mashup you got going on here, but very much, I was getting very much Morrowind vibes here from Ringwyrm. The synopsis is, Ringwyrm is an immersive action horror game with survival elements. Explore a nonlinear, interconnected world, meet a large cast of memorable characters, slay a huge cast of sickly monstrosities, and avoid myriad diseases and ailments. And this game is currently set to release in 2027, so a year from now. It is available on Steam for wishlist right now. Check it out. It's Ringwyrm. Just out of curiosity, One of the top comments is, "This looks like a very promising RPG. Honestly, can't wait for this." I was skeptical at first, but holy shit, you have my attention now. I don't know what any of this is about, but I can tell how much passion and creativity has gone into it. This looks super cool. Wishlisted. Yeah, I think that's basically my thought in a nutshell. I really don't know what's going on here. There's just a hodgepodge mixture of a bunch of different games that I can familiarize myself with, but all wrapped up into one ball into one video game. I don't know what's going on, but it looks intriguing. And with an FPS style to it, that kind of gets my attention a little bit more. But yeah, definitely have it on my wish list. I'll definitely be checking this one out. Grem, what are your thoughts on this? This is a very much a mixture of just a bunch of different games rolled up into one.
Yeah, I wanted to add too, like with the first person shooter you brought up, it almost gives you like that Doom vibe a little bit too. It's a little, I don't want to say clanky, but you know, it's not smooth. It's got smooth elements, but it's not. It also gave me a little bit too with like how the world looks, like Legend of Zelda in a way too, just like Majora's Mask kind of graphics, where they're not afraid to kind of go back into like those 90s graphic style to make it just look and feel very much like an old school game. The dog got me like, oh, that's so cute. But yeah, it looks like you I mean, they only show one character, but at the very end, it looked like you had like three potentially that you could probably play the game with, and it's probably different endings or different routes to the story. Again, I have no earthly idea what is going on, and you're right. This is like a whole bag of a bunch of games, and I'm glad that showed up at that time too. The cigarette thing, I'm like that screams 90s right there, right? Like you don't promote smoking or anything nowadays. Like it's a bunch like rolled in. And they weren't afraid to add like so many things to this one game. And at the same time, too, we were just talking about Final Fantasy XIV, right? Not telling a story or anything of that nature, and didn't show any gameplay. This thing is chock full of gameplay. We have no earthly idea what is going on, and yet it's captured our attention because we can actually see what the game is going to be like. Crazy how that kind of works out, but. Again, yeah, it's got my attention a little bit too. Actually, I'm kind of intrigued on just how and what this game is all about. It looks like you have like a dash mechanic too. One of the fights, it kind of looks like you kind of like almost like teleport or dash to the right. So, but I meant like I said with those three characters, I imagine all three of those characters have a different ability. I do like the hitting the enemies while they're down to make sure. That gives you that horror like Resident Evil kind of element too. Like, oh, is that zombie dead? Do I need to like knife it? Things like that. I did like the UI. I like the bottom left where you have like a portrait of your character along with your bars and everything. Your right side has like the ammo and everything of that nature. I wonder if there's like an inventory system when it comes to this game. I know there's so many questions, but at the same time, it looks very, very intriguing and kind of got my attention.
Yeah, the fact that there's just so many different games that I can familiarize myself with while watching through this 2-minute trailer is just absolutely wild. You go from like Morrowind to like World of Warcraft a little bit to Half-Life 2 to just wow. I've never really quite seen a game quite like this before.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's called Ringwyrm. Check it out on Steam. You can wishlist it now. Coming out next year. Definitely keep your eyes on this one and see if we get any more updates moving towards the official release next year for sure. Okay, well, that will end our gaming block for this week on the podcast. We're going to move over into sports. We have a very short sports block this week. And I guess it's going to be me and you rocking it again. So we have, is this, no, it's not over yet. Okay. Well, we'll first talk about this one, and you're going to have to kind of fill me in a little bit here because I'm not too familiar on this one. But I'll just kind of bring it in for you, and you can fill in the rest. It was officially announced 2 days ago as the time of this recording that LeBron, yes, that LeBron has officially signed with Philly, the Sixers, and his contract is a 2-year, $8 million deal for the NBA. He has now switched to another team yet again in his very long career. He's been playing. I remember do you remember the video? I'm sure you have. I'm sure you remember this. The video of him at Monday Raw with like the flip phone, and he was in the front row. He's been playing the NBA that long, and now he's got a 2-year, $8 million deal. What are your thoughts on him moving over to the Sixers now? Do you think that's going to help their team, help their chances next season? Him being on the team, is he just kind of like, come on, dude, your time is up? Or does he still benefit the team? Is he still playing like he used to? You obviously know way more about this than I do. What are your overall thoughts on this? Do you think that it gives Philly a chance?
Well, okay. So I feel like it kind of does, because what I think, especially what happened last year, or I'm sorry, the last playoffs, not last year, I'm thinking ahead, where Philadelphia got swept by the Knicks 4-0. And it's been, a thing with the 76ers is just they can never get over, the hump, basically. They're always just like maybe 1 or 2, wins away from actually getting somewhere. And they can never get over the hump. You have a guy like Tyrese Maxey, who's pretty much the point guard who kind of is trying to will this team in the right direction. You have Joel Embiid as well, still on the team. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say they also signed, or they traded, I think it was for a Boston Celtic player a couple weeks back. Jaylen Brown, I think it was, joining the 76ers. Does this help the 76ers' chances? Well, okay. It will help. Would it be enough to overthrow teams like Boston and New York, or usually in the East, a surprise team like the Detroit Pistons? Would it be enough? I mean, it could. I mean, he's a veteran. He knows what he knows what to do and everything. I don't see it, and I'm not just talking like because I'm a Knicks fan and I'm on the same side. We're in the same Atlantic standings and all of that. I don't know. I don't see it. Boston's usually always pretty good. Toronto, I think, is also going to get better. New York, I feel like the Knicks, I think they're kind of done. They'll probably do a run this year coming up, but I don't think they're going to be in the NBA Finals again. I would be shocked if they are, and I'd be ecstatic if they were. But how they made it and how that team was lucky at times is kind of a once in a lifetime thing. But at the same time too, I know that they're going to be there. Do I think the Philadelphia 76ers, can beat the New York Knicks with this team now? No. Do I think they can beat Boston? No. Do I think they can beat Detroit? Maybe Detroit. But again, you got to beat one of those three to get into the NBA Finals. So really, I feel like this boiled down. This is, again, my opinion. LeBron James wanted to win a 4th championship with a 4th different team because he was offered to go back to Miami. Cleveland wanted him. Golden State even wanted him as well. And I feel like he kind of looked at the options, and besides Philly, obviously, and he looked at those options and he's like, listen, I've already done it in Cleveland and I've already done it in Miami. I don't need to go back and win them a championship because I'm not the one that's going to be doing the heavy lifting anymore. He'll do his fair share, but he won't be doing the heavy lifting. So you then look at Golden State and Philly. And Philly, again, you have Embiid, so long as he's healthy, Jalen now, and then you have Maxey. And Maxey's young. And now that is a youngish team. That's a team that can actually win a championship. Whereas Golden State was pretty much like Stephen Curry, and it's just old at that point. I think like it's run its course. I think LeBron wants to be that first person to win 4 different championships with 4 different teams, and I think that's what made Philly more what's the word I'm looking for? More alluring than any other team that's there. I know even like the Knicks even had somewhat of an interest on bringing him, because I can imagine. The one thing I know a lot of people don't talk about too is that, let's say this is a complete disaster first year and Philly isn't going to make the playoffs at all. With LeBron only making $4 million a year, he is easily can be traded to another team. And I think that's kind of gotten lost in all of this. I know everyone's like, oh man, Philadelphia, 76ers can really make a run. But if it's not working, if Embiid gets hurt, if Jaylen Brown is hurt, or even Maxi's hurt for a long period of time, and this team just does not gel together, moving LeBron James is not a bad thing. And he even said it himself. This is his last free agency that he's going through. This is the last team that he will sign with. But that does not mean that Philly can just not trade him. Like it could essentially just trade him and to another team that could be trying to win a championship, that could use someone like LeBron James. So I honestly, like if I was to try to place a bet, I would probably say that he does not finish his career as a 76er. I feel like he will get traded, whether it be this year or next year. He will get traded to a team that is gunning for a championship, and I'm confident Philadelphia knows that. The higher ups know that. But again, that's just my opinion. I have no crystal ball or anything. I just feel like I don't think it's going to be enough, but Philly has done enough to change the narrative of that team to make everyone believe that they can win. And I know I said maybe they couldn't beat the Knicks, but maybe it becomes like a Game 7 kind of deal where it's a coin flip. But I still don't think they can beat Boston. I think Boston's a really good team, and they always are a good team every single year. It's sickening, but it's mind-boggling at the same time on how good Boston is every single time. And again, Detroit's 1 year wiser from their playoff thing, and even Cleveland. I didn't even mention Cleveland. Heck, Cleveland is the one who knocked out Detroit. They're a good team. So what if it's Philadelphia and the Cleveland Cavaliers? Do I think that Philly can beat them? I mean, maybe, but I mean, Cleveland's gotten a year older now, so there's so much that kind of goes into this decision, or the final decision, that again, LeBron is going to be one of those things where he's always going to be talked about. He's 41 years of age. This contract gets him all the way to 43, unless he decides to retire next year. So I don't know. It's interesting, but if you ask me, I don't think he's going to retire as a 76er. I feel like there will be a trade in place. Then Philadelphia, that's pretty much what it's either going to be a championship, or they're just going to move him for a piece that could help them later down the road, like a future.
Whew, take a breath.
Yeah, I kind of went off. Dang, I didn't realize I was going to go completely ham on LeBron James here, but
yeah,
I was kind of looking through everything, and I channeled my inner Raji. That was kind of wild. I'm sorry, everyone.
you dropped the Wikipedia on us. I
did.
King LeBron.
I try to come prepared, especially when we have to step our game up a little bit.
Yeah, when the moon comes out again.
Yes.
All right. Well, before we move on to NASCAR, I just wanted to attach a tiny little footnote to our NBA discussion here. I heard about this through the grapevine a few days back, and I just wanted to point out that my Oklahoma City Thunder did trade Lou Dort to the Atlanta Hawks in a 3-team deal with the Dallas Mavs, receiving 3 future second-round picks in return. I just wanted to ask your expertise on this. Do you think this is a good deal for OKC, the Hawks, or the Mavs? Who does this benefit the most? Do you think letting go of Lou Dort was the right call? I don't really remember him doing a whole lot in that finals with the Spurs. Although I know he's a contributing factor. He was a contributing factor to the Thunder. He wasn't like top tier in terms of the players on the team, but he was a recognizable name.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this deal?
I heard that was mainly because of money. Lou Dort was going to set to make a lot of money. I believe they actually signed him before they traded him as well. What they were saying about the deal, from what I remember, was that Dort was, like you had said, wasn't really contributing towards the very end. and they just have another player that's on a much cheaper contract currently right now that does the exact same thing that Lou Dort can do. So I feel like in the end, it's not going to hurt OKC. I think it will ultimately, it'll either be a wash. It really kind of depends now on those draft picks, right? Like what you guys get from those draft picks. If you get 1 or 2, then yeah, for sure you guys win out. If you miss on all 3, potentially, or whatever those draft picks maybe get rolled into like a 1 somewhere, you know? So, I mean, does it make the Hawks better? I think a little bit, yeah. And honestly, I mean, for the Mavericks, they've just been a complete disaster for years. So I think they're just trying to they get 1 pick and then a player that's probably, not really going to do too much. So I think overall, it helps OKC with salary cap, and you already have a player already that can take up Dort's position. I can't remember the guy's name now that I think about it.
I can't either.
But you guys aren't going to miss too much, I think, on that. But at the same time, too, I love Lou Dort. I always, whenever I played 2K NBA, and I always saw, like, Lou Dort was available, I would always pick him up. Just, I don't know, because I like the name, and always had fun playing with him in the game. So I have a soft spot for Lou Dort. So I hate that he's in Atlanta. I don't like the Atlanta Hawks personally, so I feel for him. But yeah, I think ultimately whatever you guys get from your picks will kind of pretty much tell whether or not this is fine. But I think you guys are going to be fine regardless. I don't think you lost someone where you're like, oh man, we're not going to be able to replace him. I think you already have your replacement, and I think that's why it made it easier for you guys to make this move and actually get something in return, rather than potentially another season with Dort kind of having injuries and not, being up to par on where he should be.
Mm-hmm. And there's always going to be the fact that OKC, when you compare it to the other franchises, when it comes to laying money down on the table, those other franchises are always going to win over OKC.
Yep.
When it comes,
and I think they just took it one step further. They were like, "Listen, we're going to sign you, and then we're going to trade you. So this way we don't have to do it. Your contract's already set at this point to another team, and we're going to get something in return, rather than investing money into a player and then something bad happening. And then, like, for example, let's say next year Dort gets hurt for half the year, and then now all of a sudden you're not going to get 3 second round draft picks. You're probably going to get like 2, maybe 1, even if you're lucky at that point. So it's just smart business moves by OKC. I'm not trying to sugarcoat or anything like that. No, it is a smart move for a market like OKC to do. So you're just playing what your market is. So that you have a really good general manager and owner that are smart, and they know what they're doing. So I mean, you guys will be fine.
And it's also a general manager and an owner that knows that when other franchises start throwing money down on the table, OKC is probably going to lose out. And I think that's part of the contributing factor with the whole like original trio of like Westbrook and Durant and Harden, was when money starts getting talked about, OKC is always going to lose out, just because we're a younger franchise and we're not quite as established as some of these other franchises are, with money to toss around freely like that. At least that's the perception that I've had.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to NASCAR here, and we are currently in the middle of the Brickyard 500, is it not? Indianapolis.
Yeah, they're racing in Indy. I know that.
Yeah, I see that. Almost close to the end.
Almost over. Yep.
Almost over. We got Corey Heim in the lead right now as we watch. He's going 171 miles per hour. And look at that throttle, 100% right there. I love this real-time NASCAR.com. That's really awesome. I love seeing this. But we got Corey Heim currently in the lead as we record this podcast, with Christopher Bell in second, Joey Logano third, Trace Biscoe in fourth, and there's Denny Hamlin in fifth. Now, I have to ask, where is... Oh, he's in ninth. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than he did last week.
Yep. And you mentioned Joey Logano, who jumped from 17th to 15th in the standings, currently third right now after his win last week.
That's going to help him a lot.
this could, maybe secure him a little bit more up in there. So this way he's not too worried. I mean, because after this one, it's 9 races to go. And then all of a sudden we're in the playoffs. So, yeah. It would be interesting to see who's going to kiss the bricks here. But Corey Heim is doing a pretty good job right now. He's led 44 laps. It's not the most. I think Ty Gibbs has 46 laps led so far. But at the same time, then a couple of laps, and he'll be the person who's led the most laps in this race.
Yeah, it looks real good for Corey Heim right now. With what we got here, about less than 20 laps to go to finish the race out.
Let me see real quickly. Corey Heim. I'm trying to see where he is in the standings.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at that. Got it right here. He is. Ooh, he's down there.
Yeah, I was trying to find him. I can't see him.
Holy moly! Wait, is he not even on the?
Is he just kind of a part-timer? I should know. I'm sorry that I don't.
I don't see him on this.
Yeah, I don't see him on the points either. So it sounds like he's just kind of like a ringer, as they would call it.
Wow.
Where he's just kind of racing. But Christopher Bell, though, is a part of the championship, and he's sitting in 10th in the standings. So the second place finish would help him out immensely. And like we were talking about Joey Logano. So yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yep. Unfortunately, we're doing this podcast a little earlier today, so we don't get the actual results.
Yep.
The
It'll have to be next week, actually, when we kind of deep dive the standings. Yeah.
And then what do we know what's next week? Let's take a look here. Yeah.
I think it's Iowa.
Is it Iowa?
August 9th is Iowa. The Iowa Corn 350.
That's it. Yep. Sunday, August 9th. Iowa Corn 350 at Newton, Iowa will be next Sunday, August 9th. So that'll be what we talk. Huh?
No, wait, hold on. That's the next race. That's not next week.
Oh,
next week would be the second. So there's no race.
There is no
week.
Race. Yeah. Okay.
So we can deep dive next week into the standings and kind of get a little bit more into that. So.
Yes, we'll have a week off from NASCAR to kind of check everything out after today's race in Indianapolis and go from there. And then once September starts, the chase is on to the end. So pretty cool. All right. I wish we had more to bring on that, but the race is just simply ongoing right now. So
yeah, and I said that there was 9 races. I guess there's only like 5 to go before the chase starts. I don't know where I got 9. I apologize.
Yeah, you got Indy today, Iowa in 2 weeks. Then you got Richmond, Virginia, New Hampshire, and it ends off in Daytona.
And then the chase starts with the 10 races. With the 16th, so we'll deep dive more, I think, in the standings next week.
And Bristol's gonna be the 3rd one.
Yeah, nice.
Love me some Bristol.
Yep.
All right, well, that'll do her for NASCAR. We're gonna move over to this week in Croakitoad, and literally, what it was Croakitoad.com. There were no streams this week. Which shocked me because I thought I had at least streamed once. And outside of CPW, I guess I didn't.
Yeah, we were all pretty sad about that, where you had this whole thing planned out too, where you're going to finish up, what was it, Doom and everything?
Yeah.
And then we were going to knock out potentially NASCAR or something. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. And it just kind of snowballed for you to getting a week off, which is fine. I mean, that's well deserved because you were working on.
I was working on, and I announced this on last week's podcast, but I'll do it again here because it it definitely trickled over into this week for me, live streaming throughout the week. But that is the brand new and amazing Croakitoad.com. So if you guys have not checked it out yet, definitely go take a look. Croakitoad.com. You've got everything from my game library showing, eventually all 800 plus video games I've completed on the Twitch channel and is available on YouTube into one nice little catalog on that page. We've got the monster of a beast webpage for the Croakitoad Pro Wrestling E-Fed. And my God, is that... Those of you wrestling fans out there, you guys know about Cage Match. That's like a website that shows basically every single, it's a database of like every single wrestling match that's ever been put on in the history of wrestling. You can just type a guy's name in or someone's name in and bring up basically the CPW webpage on the Croakitoad.com is like the cage match of CPW. It gives you every single bit of data and information you could think of. You could find the person you've lost the most to, the person you've beaten the most, your highest rival, your win-loss record for all 3 seasons, all championship title histories, event results, a complete match, all 1,100 matches that have ever taken place in CPW. Like, there's not a stat that you cannot find on this new Croakitoad Pro Wrestling webpage on Croakitoad.com. It's simply amazing. I have certainly created a beast, and it was really awesome to put that together, even if it took me like a week to do that. And then we also have since we're here on the podcast, we do have a dedicated Toad Talk podcast page as well, where you can check out all of our current episodes and previous episodes on the Toad Talk podcast webpage. There's also, the Croakitoad shop for merchandise. We've got a brand new newsletter option where you can sign up with your email and get automatic emails sent to you for updates for episodes like Toad Talk Podcast here. It'll automatically email and tell you that the episode has been uploaded, which should also be directly uploaded to all of my social medias as well. Discord, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Blue Sky. As soon as we upload this video into YouTube, it should automatically shoot that out to every social media. The same for every CPW episode. The same for a weekly newsletter I'm also doing on my website as well. So definitely check that newsletter out. If you're not, following on social medias, you can, if you like to check your emails, check that out. There's also a really nice about page if you want to learn more about who I am as a streamer, the things I've accomplished as a content creator and a gamer and a streamer. And then we have like a really nice community page, which is a nice segue because that's actually, we got to do the CPW report first, but I'll get into that in just a second. But we'll just go ahead and go into the Croakitoad Pro Wrestling report now and cover this past week's CPW show, which was the go home show for Scars and Stripes. This was the July 21st, 2026 episode of Tuesday Toxic. This was season 3, episode 16. And here are your results for the show. We had a double tag team extravaganza in our first 2 matches. Excuse me. The first of which involved the World Heavyweight Championship. Not directly in the match, but it included the champion. But we had Cassidy, Ryan, and Raji teaming up together to take on Grem and Psycho T, who is the world champion. Cassidy, Ryan, and Raji would end up winning this match, 5-star match. Obviously, there's been, rumors and rumblings about Grem climbing the ranks and getting his, I should bring that trusty Croakitoad.com right back up and go to that CPW webpage because we actually have title rankings as well that can help me out a little bit here on this. But yeah, there have been rumblings that Grem is going to be climbing up the world heavyweight title rankings with an 8-5-1 record. He's currently sitting at number 3 on the leaderboards, right after Rogue and Nathan Moore, who kind of have their eyes more on the tag titles, I would say. So Grem is, this is almost like turning into a NASCAR section here now with these leaderboards. But yeah, Grem taking a loss to Cassidy, Ryan, and Raji does not help his record at all. Same with Psycho T, as Raji and Cassidy Ryan get one over on them. But still, regardless of that, it's kind of been rumored that Grem is going to be the next one to get the shot at Psycho T. So them working together was kind of a little rub there. And with it being like the go home show before Scars and Stripes, nothing has been confirmed in terms, actually no match. Well, actually some matches have been confirmed. They just haven't been released yet as the time of this podcast due to working on the Croakitoad.com website. But, the World Heavyweight title match has actually not been officially revealed or released yet. So we still don't know what that main event is going to be, although we do know a bunch of matches that will be taking place this Tuesday at the PLE. I guess I can start calling them now. But then we go into our second match, which was Kitten and Lucinda teaming up together after Lucinda defeated Kitten after Kitten defeated Asterial the week before that. So got quite the Facebook, it's complicated situation going on here in the women's division. But they defeated Maggie Moore and Celestia in also a 5-star tag team match. And of course, we know Celestia is the women's champion. She is the one that dethroned Asterial in that walloping, gigantic 308-day title reign as women's champion, setting an ultimate record over every other title since the creation of CPW, blowing everyone's record away. And yeah, so Celestia is at the top of the mountain right now in the women's division. And yeah, just like the world title division, who is currently... Oh, and according to the CPW stats, Alessandra is actually the number one contender for Celestia, followed by Lady Lavin, Darla Quentin, and Monica Wake and Disco Bunny. So very interesting and intriguing top 5 there for Celestia's title. Would not have expected that. But yeah, we'll see what happens this week on the PLE, see who ends up getting the official crack. Everyone thought it was going to be Kitten, but she took that loss to Lucinda, and Lucinda's like, hold on, I don't think so. It's my turn. So I don't know. It's in as much disarray as, well, even more disarray than the world rankings, but yeah, hopefully Scars and Stripes kind of solidifies what's going on there with Celestia and her division. Third match of the night was Atomic Bomb coming out to his second match in his CPW career, and he actually defeated Mr. Shakedown himself, Patrick Schrader. 3-star matchup, one-on-one match. Good to see Atomic Bomb picks up a win after taking a loss on his debut. So he comes back, and this was a really cool match because obviously Atomic Bomb, a very new, actually probably the newest person on the CPW roster. And Patrick Schrader making his return. He was back in season 2 and more of like a kind of a bodyguard role for Burnsy, but now trying to step into the ring himself here. And he actually picked up a win, I believe, making his debut in season 3, and then takes a loss here to Atomic Bomb. But really fun match, back and forth between two fresh faces on the roster. Good to see, always good to see new fresh faces come in and compete on the roster for sure. The next match was Sarah Bella. I have been calling her Sarah Bella this whole time. I've just realized it's called Sarah Bella. That is the official pronunciation of that. Defeated Jess Moxie. Again, 3.5 match star rating, hardcore division match. This was a rematch actually from the week previous to this, where Sarabella picked up a win over Jess Moxie. So he literally just had a rematch 7 days after. And what do you know? Sarabella defeats Jess Moxie again 2 weeks back to back. And yeah, we all know Jess Moxie is like, the name of Jess Moxie is like right there with the hardcore division. Jess Moxie obviously has won the hardcore championship, a record-setting 3 times, and is just known for being that hardcore person. So when someone relatively new like Sarabella comes in under the tutelage of one Miss Perfection, the coach, and comes in and beats Jess Moxie 2 weeks back to back like that is pretty impressive and caught a lot of people by surprise. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a third match this week on the PLE where Sarabella takes on Jess Moxie to go one more go against each other. After that, we had Adam Brown defeating Sean Bretherick, 3.5 match star rating. And I remember seeing this match. Both of these people were in the chat at the time watching the show, and I couldn't help but make a comment that, wow, if you see this match on paper, and like I'm looking at it right here, you would probably be thinking that you're looking at like 2010s Justin.TV, like RCWF right here. Seeing like seeing a match result like this, Adam Brown defeating Sean Bretherick. It's like, whoa, am I looking at some like vintage E-Fed results here? So even in 2026, we get this match, 3.5 match star rating, pretty fun match. Adam Brown, we know, has been usually teaming with Disco King as the Kings of New York team. Stepped into a singles role here. Sean the Show Bretherick, he's not really had a great time lately in CPW. I'm gonna just check real quick his record for season 3. Actually, all seasons altogether. Yeah, overall he's 7-16. He's 1-2 in the season 3, 2-7 season 2, 4-7 season 1. He's not had he's got a 30% win rate. here in CPW. Not the greatest. Sean's had a rough time at CPW, and he takes another loss here to Adam Brown between two veterans. Next match was Miles Wildmore defeating Helldiver Zach. This was a revenge match. We saw Helldiver Zach get the crack at the Kappa title the week before. And of course, we know Azarine has hijacked that title and that division, forcing people to have to wrestle all three of the Unholy Union to take the Kappa title away from them. And this was Helldiver Zach's attempt to try to get some payback on what the situation he was put in, facing Miles Wildmore one-on-one. Unfortunately, he could not do it. And Miles Wildmore picks up the win, even in this fair and square situation. I think Azarine and Alessandra were still at ringside, so I guess you could make a claim that maybe that was part of a distraction device there. But nevertheless, Miles Wildmore picks up a singles win here over Helldiver Zach. And yeah, Helldiver Zach has not had he's not really had a great CPW. He debuted here in season 3. And yeah, he's currently 4-6 on the season, 40% win rate. He hasn't had the greatest of times in CPW starting off, but he's fresh to the roster. He's only been in a few months, so we'll see if he drinks a couple more liberties and he'll get his act together, get some wins under his belt. Next match was Anubis Khan taking on Ryan Matthews. This was just like kind of a one-off match. This is obviously Anubis Khan, one half of the Titans, and Ryan Matthews, our current reigning Money in the Bank briefcase holder. And this was just a what-if match, just to test both the guys out. 4-star match rating. Anubis Khan picks up the win, and I also made a special point about this match that both these guys have a very particular submission hold that they usually win their matches with. Anubis Khan has got this like almost like a Steiner recliner, but he puts the arm around his head, and then he just like squeezes the shoulder out of the socket kind of deal. And then Ryan Matthews has got that front guillotine choke. So, and I don't think the submission was applied here. I think this is a pinfall win here, but I was waiting for one of these two guys to try to drop the submission on one another, and it could have gone either way, but Anubis Khan wins out on this one. Next match was Connie defeating Spike Ryan, 3-star match rating. This was wow, this was a weird one. We know Linky is now overcome the Aiden Gallagher situation, and now he's free to roam the lands of CPW. And Connie there with him. They're together there again. But Spike Ryan has got this very weird relationship with CPW right now, where he turned bad, he turned rotten, he blamed everyone else, and he said while everyone was cheering Nathan Moore for getting rid of Tad Peters, nobody cheered for me for putting the baby mask on Mr. Coke. And so he took it out on the fans, took it out on everybody on the roster, and he's been very much like this ever since. But now he's trying to like convince friends and peers around him, like Puppy, AJ Jacobs, Linky, that he's kind of seen the error of his ways. He wants to twist and turn and become a good guy again, as a point of speaking. And I don't know, it doesn't feel very believable. It's going to take a lot to gain the trust back. But Connie wins out over here on Spike Ryan in singles match, 3-star match rating. And everyone was certainly keeping an eye on him to see how he was going to react, taking a loss to Connie. And if Linky was going to react to his reaction. And I don't know. I feel like he took it. He could have taken it worse. Obviously, you're never going to be happy when you take a loss. But I don't know. I feel like something's festering there. It just hasn't happened yet. I'm waiting for the firecracker to go off, and it just hasn't yet. But we'll keep an eye on Spike Ryan. The next match was a tag team match. It was the World Tag Team Champions, Morsel and Mr. Cantot, teaming up together to take on Mr. Coke and Broxus. For a change, not at each other's throats, they decided this week to call a truce and team up again to go against Morsel and Cantot. I feel like these two teams have faced each other so many times, actually. 5-star match rating, by the way. Morsel and Mr. Cantot on a huge run right now as tag team 89-day reign here as World Tag Team Champions. Yes, they are, in fact, their current run right now puts them in the third longest tag team title reign, only behind themselves the first time around. So they are currently on a roll as tag team champions. It's not like they have not been in matches or even defending their belts. They have been dominating every team that has been put in front of them. And you wouldn't think that because it's Mooresville and Mr. Cantod, but I'm telling you, this team is very impressive. In fact, what is their... I'm going to check here. Man, I love this CPW webpage. I could just look up anything I want here. Let's see. Vicious and Delicious. They are... Oh, my goodness. They are overall record at 17-12. Season 3, they are 7-1 as a tag team. That is incredible. And season 1, they didn't do too well, 3-6. But season 2, they were 7-5. And of course, season 3, they're 7-1 right now. And that is just a great tag team record there. But they pick up the win over Coke and Roxas. Obviously, they're always going to have issues there. I feel like that got involved too. I think Roxas took a cheap shot at Coke at one time from the ring apron. Roxas denied it, but we all saw it with our own eyes. So these two guys, while they're a tag team, they're still going to have issues. And so Mooresville Cantop pick up a win there. Our semi-main event of the evening, if I can talk about it, was a 4-team matchup pitting champions against their biggest rival, I guess you could say, leading into Scars and Stripes. And this is where the matches that we know are going to take place this Tuesday are well evident. Because we had Azarain, who obviously is the Kappa champion, teaming up with Mike Metal, the person he won the belt from. And they actually won in this 3.5 match star rating match. And they defeated Feats and Sumo, who, as we know, Sumo is the TV champion. Feats has been climbing up the ranks to get his TV title back after that brief trip feud with Hype for a while. And then they also defeated Grem Weaver, who's the international champion, and Zozakin, who's been kind of having a little bit of a mini rivalry lately as well, ever since Grem Weaver won the belt from Rock Hard Meat. And then the last team was Queen Savi and Deputy Dog. And of course, we know that's the Young Lions division, where Queen Savi was the former champion. Deputy Dog defeated her to win his first title belt in CPW. And Queen Savi has been very, very impressive as well since debuting. I believe her debut was actually on the Twitch front page stream earlier a few months back. And she is already a Young Lions champion and on the verge of possibly winning it a second time. As she's confirmed to face Deputy Dog again for that title this week as well. So that was your semi-main event. Lots of people involved, lots of title situations and feuds and stuff involved in that match. It was just an overall cluster. There were people all over the place. And then our main event of the evening was FAFO, Nathan Moore and Rogue, teaming up together to take on two members of Asterial's Blood Triangle. That's Vampy and the hardcore champion, Jen Von Lee. Asterial was at ringside for her fellow witch sisters for this one. This was a 4.5 match star rating. Nathan Moore and Rogue just continue to be a very impressive tag team here in CPW. If I take a look at their record here, actually, yeah, this clarifies my statement. They're actually currently, as a tag team, they're 3-0. Can't get much better than that. Their season 2 wasn't that hot. They were 5-12, but they have certainly started season 3 off with a bang, being 3-0, and of course, former World Tag Team Champions at 56 Days. And I believe they are actually number 1 contenders for the tag. They are, yeah. With their 3-0 record, they are number 1 contenders for Mooresville and Canton. I think I would love to see actually Nathan Moore and Rogue just get a 2-on-2 shot against Mooresville and Canton. I think that'd be a really good match. I don't think we really have ever seen that for the belts. I think the exchange has always happened in multi-team matches between these two teams. As far as like squaring up 2v2, it's happened. I could probably look in the match database, but I'm not gonna because this is a podcast and we're live. But yeah, I think an FAFO versus Mooresville and Canton would be a really cool match. Maybe we'll see that this week if I'm feeling it. And also, just as a little side note, Cowabunga Club is currently number 2 ranked team at 1-0. They've only had one match, and they won it, but that still puts them at the number 2 spot there for the tag belts. And that was our main event of the evening. Vampy and Jen Von Lee, of course, part of that Blood Triangle trio stable. And Jen Von Lee currently hardcore champion right now. She turned away Jess Moxie. She's turned away Butcher Pete. Jen Von Lee has been on a incredible run as champion. She's currently held the belt for 110 days. That actually puts her in second place behind Psycho T's record run at 161. So if Jen can hold on to the belt another 51 days, she will tie the longest record as hardcore champion. And her division is a very weird one, as we have the Sandman currently in #1 contender spot. Then Morzel, then Butcher Pete, Agent CS, and Bethany round out the top 5 for that division. Yeah, and that's another one that's kind of in disarray. Now that Jess Moxie has got his sights set on Sarabella, that kind of removes him from the equation. Psycho T has been, in the world rankings now. So, I mean, the only person I can think of that is the penultimate always rivalry of OG Brad Vickers, but I don't see him on the top 5 rankings here. But that's always going to be something in the on the back burner is the Jen versus Evan rivalry. It's the feud it's like Coke v Roxas. It's always going to be lingering for sure. So we'll see if that comes into play. But that was your go home show for CPW for this past week. My match of the night, this one's kind of a tough one. I put myself on the spot on this one. I think match of the night, I would go with, I don't know, just for the sake of seeing the match, because I don't think we've ever seen it before. And it was just an interesting take on just having two guys go out and wrestle each other. I think Anubis Khan and Ryan Matthews, that was probably my match of the night. It was something new, and I don't think these two have ever met before in singles. And it was just cool to see them two square off. But yeah, that would be my pick for match of the night. And now we await the official card and the look at the arena for Scars and Stripes 2026, which is at the current time right now, according to our, once again, CPW webpage, by the way, at croakitoad.com. We are, as of right now, we are 2 days, 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 9 seconds away from Scars and Stripes. And another cool little feature there on the CPW webpage. I'm telling you guys, you need to check this webpage out if you haven't checked it out. You could spend hours on this thing for reals. Super amazing. Grem, I'll pass it over to you. What were your thoughts on the show? Do you think Grem has a driver's seat shoe-in for Psycho T for that World Heavyweight title right now, based on the rankings that you see here? And what was your match of the night?
Yeah, so I'll tackle the biggest thing first too, by the way. Not only does the Croakitoad website do like CPW, but Toad Talk podcast, there's a shop, games library. So like you said, you could spend hours on there. It is not just for CPW. It is for a lot of things that revolve around Croakitoad. Second, to answer your question with Grem, I feel like potentially after the last match on Tuesday, where Grem was reluctant to tap and or tag in Psycho T, maybe because of a scary claw and didn't want to cut himself or something, it maybe might have angered Psycho T enough to do that. I don't think that's what Grem's intention was, but you did bring up that Grem is sitting at 8-5-1. And even though Rogan, Nathan Moore have a better win percentage, they're looking more like Vicious and Delicious, which again, that would be a crazy match to see, FAFO versus Vicious and Delicious. I think also too that could really bolster Mr. Cantot and Morzel as really big time players here in CPW, because again, you're taking on two former world champions. But we'll see. I don't know if Psycho T really wants to get revenge on Grem. I mean, it would make sense in a way. It's been talked about for a couple of weeks that Grem was kind of vying for that #1 contendership spot. And so has it been enough for him to earn it at this point? Or does Psycho T want it enough? I guess is really, the only person that knows that is Psycho T, and of course, who's going to be making the card for, CBW Scars and Stripes.
Eric Bischoff.
Yes, Eric Bischoff. So there you go. If I can make one request though, for Scars and Stripes, can we please have Barry Bones in a match? It doesn't even have to be for his title. He's 1-0 and he's just sitting there, and it's like, what? Like, we gotta get him some time here. I honestly like the aspect of how that title is, where it's just bare knuckles. There's no ropes. I think it brings a different look to CPW and in terms of the wrestling matches that we see. So I would love to see Barry Bones, not only for his theme song too, but just to have him have a match and defend that title. I mean, currently right now, if you go to the website, it says Butcher Pete's #1 contender. Butcher Pete versus Barry Bones would be an amazing match to see. But again, I'm just throwing it out there, just as a suggestion.
This entire list for the Iron Knuckle is really intriguing because you've got Barry Bones, who's obviously the professional boxer from a whole different sport as champion, and then you got Butcher Pete, who's just the wild man that's survived in this capital Fallout wasteland. So he's had to fight for survive his entire life. You got Bethany, who's like the CQC master. You got Bernsey, who's the master of the slapper.
Yep.
You got Leo Reigns, who Barry Bones won to become champion and has always been known for his bare knuckle style. And you got Patrick's Raider, who's known as Mr. Shakedown, whose entire job is to beat people up and take their money. So that entire top 5 is just a very intriguing list of candidates.
Yes, very much so, where it's like a different style match just to kind of see and even play out. Even if we get like, not even for Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, if you wanted to throw like Bethany versus Bernsey or Butcher Pete versus Leo Reigns or something like that, I think it would still be entertaining in that aspect of where there's no ropes and everything. And let's see, getting back to what you wanted to also know about match of the night for me, I know you kind of blew it off a little bit, but that Anubis Khan versus Ryan Matthews match, I could really make a case for. In terms of, what is it? Ryan Matthews is the current Money in the Bank holder.
Yes.
And we talked about this, I want to say like in our first couple of podcasts. Maybe not. Well, maybe we did. But Wells Mosher was a beast when we had the Rumble. And I had made the point of, Welsh Mosher could probably go on his own and be a singles competitor. And that would be a trouble for whatever division Welsh Mosher went into. After this match, watching Anubis Khan and taking on a guy like Ryan Matthews and coming up with the win, it solidifies that concern of, wow, like them being in a tag team kind of puts them in just one division. If you had split Anubis Khan and Welsh Mosher into 2 different divisions, they might have those 2 divisions on lockdown and no one's getting a title, from them. I mean, you'd have to be extremely lucky. So I thought it was an interesting match too, because like you said, there was submissions that were involved, and even though that's not how it finished, I kind of like that match. I really did. I thought it was a kind of a sleeper match in the whole grand scheme of things. Watching the whole thing for CPW, and again, I'm trying not to pick my own match. And the main event was really good too. Don't get me wrong. I feel like Asterial has a lot of anger to unleash, and I think either she's buying her time or she just wants someone else to kind of do it, like Vampy and Jen Von Lee to do that punishment for her. But that's another person too. No matter where you're putting Asterial, I have a funny feeling she could also dominate that title division as well. So it'll be interesting to see where she decides to potentially land. But overall, like I said, my match of the night was Anubis Khan versus Ryan Matthews. And again, Scars and Stripes coming up in, less than 3 days. If you want to, if you go on to Croakitoad.com and you see what that timer says, go ahead and post that in the comments as well. Let us know. And the countdown, it'd be kind of interesting to see the countdown from comments if people actually are doing it or not. But again, the site looks amazing. It a lot of time and effort was put in by Tad on this, guys. And again, it's not just CPW, but the CPW page is like legit. Like I'm just gonna say it now. WWE, AEW, their site is not nearly as in depth, it looks like, compared to what we have currently right now, and we're just an E-Fed. So it is that good. So please check it out.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. It took me a whole week to get it perfected and how I wanted it to look. And just, I wanted to have it be like a statistical overload. Like if you have a question about anything, you can, if you go to this webpage, you'll have it answered. So I'm glad to cover all angles here. And I'm actually thinking about maybe even expanding the title contenders up by 2 so that you can see 7 instead of 5. So
I think that's a really good suggestion. I don't know where you came up with that, but that sounds like a really cool idea.
Yes. I wonder where I came up with that.
I don't know.
All right. Well, that is our CPW report. Of course, you can, by the time you listen to this, probably Scars and Stripes will have already happened, or it's on the verge of happening, and the card has already been posted in the Discord, so we'll know what all is going down. But yeah, we will be back next week, and we will cover the happenings of Scars and Stripes and see how the brand new CPW webpage reacts to finally getting its first live inputs from that show to see how things change. And next week, we'll actually see on these contenders, we'll see ups, we'll see downs, we'll see stays the sames. It's going to be super cool. I can't wait to plug this data in from Tuesday, this upcoming show, and see how everything changes on all this stuff. So really, really nifty. Okay, we're going to move over to the Croakitoad Stream Team News, Croakitoad Community. And so we're going to bring up this from Coke here. And we'll just go straight down the list here and see what everyone has been streaming this past week. So we'll start from the very top of the list. We had Lucinda continuing our Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remastered Resynced playthrough, as we talked about in the comments earlier. Lucinda still going through that Black Flag Resynced playthrough, just enjoying the time, not really focused on achievements or anything, just having a blast and playing an open world game that's really, really, really a lot of fun. I can't wait to jump onto it myself, actually. Then we had Atomic Bomb 1980, who's playing some Metroid Prime Remastered, Wolfenstein Youngblood, and also playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced as well. Then we had Coke Soda Can jumping in here. He was playing some TRLEs, and he was playing Tomb Raider 1 Remastered as well. Roxas 997 was playing Mecha Chameleon. That was last night, actually. I was playing with them. And Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. We had Hype, who was also playing Mecha Chameleon as well. They were doing a dual stream last night. Dodge Brawl and our good fun game Funnel Runners this week. We had RE Kitten 137 playing some Power World. Been playing a lot of Power World, actually. Retro Rewind Video Store Simulator as well. Feats Beats Games also playing some TRLEs and getting through Thief Gold. You got to be getting close to the end of that, or you maybe have completed it there, Feats. Let us know in the comments. If you have beaten Thief Gold, let us know what your overall rating is. Would you rank it? I've never played that game, but it's definitely on my list after watching some of your streams do that. Then we had Jin Von Lee coming in, playing some games and demos. She told me earlier that she actually tried Funnel Runners herself for the first time and had a fun time with it. So that's really cool. See more people get on that Funnel Runners run. The Chain TV was playing Rune Factory 4 Special. And yeah, jumping all over that Rune Factory. That's the game theme he's known for. We had Puddle Duck 22. Buttons was playing Disney Dreamlight Valley again. Necro was playing Diablo 4, Fallout 76, Wreckfest, Iron Nest Heavy Turret Sim, and Drive Beyond Horizons. We had Monica playing some Phasmophobia and doing some art this week. We had Urkamus, who was playing Just Dance 2026. I actually saw some of that last night. I wasn't able to stick around because we were playing Mecha Chameleon, but I saw him under the Just Dance tag, and that was really cool. Good to see a fellow Croakitoadian playing some Just Dance. That was really cool. So good on you, Urkamus. If you're listening to this, props to you. Also playing Popucum, Ground Zero, and Resident Evil 3. We have Patrick's Raider playing some Astral Train and Jackass the Game. Okay. I didn't know that was a game. Excuse me. We had Zozakin playing Not For Broadcast, games and demos, his weekly Archipelago World Heavyweight Championship Tournament, and Peggle. We had Burnsy just playing some retro. Then we had Pocket. It's Pocket was playing 007 First Light. Man, I got to play that game. I Am Daniel McGee was playing Marvel Rivals. We had JoJo Spud 247 playing 10 Dead Doves. Honey Lil E was back.
Doves? I think it's Doves.
Oh, Doves?
Yeah.
Oh, what'd I say?
You said Doves.
Oh, Doves. Oh, okay. There's a lot of text here.
Yeah.
Honey Lil E was playing Just Chatting. What were you chatting about, honey? Let us know. Lilu was playing Floors, Dark Knight with Floppa, Decay the Mayor. I've played that one. Inside the Labs, I'm on observation duty, 1 and 2. I've played those. Spooky Shelter and Rental, and I've played that one as well. So Lilu going on that indie horror marathon there. I can relate to that. Lots of games there from Lilu this week on 3 different streams playing indie horror games. That's cool. That's cool. It doesn't have to be October to play spoopy games, that's for sure. And then Mabrielle was playing House Flipper and Resident Evil 4 across 3 streams this week. Good job to all you guys streaming this week. Yeah, it's awesome.
And if you guys want to check these streamers out, I know we kind of go down the list, but if you go to twitch.tv/team/Croakitoad Gaming, you can see all of these members when they're streaming. Give them a follow, and if any of these games kind of hit what you guys want to be watching, go ahead and give them a follow. So this way you have something to watch. I know we kind of announce it every week, but we don't really announce like their username or anything for the most part. So because sometimes it can be hard to find out when we say Lilu or something. So that's your best way to actually kind of support, each other. We're all in this together as a team. So as much as, we want to bring knowledge to everyone on that one, in terms of like people streaming, it's also good to know how to follow these streamers as well.
Yes, if you go to croakitoad.com/community, or you just hit the community drop down,
It wasn't even on the website. I didn't even know that. Okay.
Oh, you didn't know about this page?
I didn't know about this page.
Man, see, even you've got some sneaky pages you haven't even checked out yet.
I got more hours I got to go into this page,
yeah,
guys.
man, I'm telling you, this thing is in depth, man. Croakitoad.com. Check it out for reals. But yeah, there's a whole community page here. Anyone that's live is at the top as of right now. I'll just go ahead and mention it. We've got Zozakin, who's live. We've got Scorpios 9472 is live. Ali D 1992 is currently live. It's Pocket is live, and the Chain TV is currently live as of the recording of this podcast right now. And someone else is live right now, and I just want to drop a special shout out. Celestia 1416 is currently live right now on her Twitch channel, and she is doing a 5-year Twitch anniversary stream doing Minecraft Dungeons. I just want to drop a specific shout out to Celestia. Good on you for doing a stream 5 years later, and I hope your stream today has gone awesome. I'm always happy to see a Celestia stream, even if it's like not constant or all the time. It's always a pleasure. And we're recording this podcast right now, so I haven't been able to go in there, but hopefully we're almost done here, so I'll be able to catch some of the stream after we're done. But yeah, check it out, croakitoad.com/community to check out all of our Twitch team members and streamers. It's got really cool stats at the top as well. We've got 56 team members who stream. We've got 6 live right now. Across all the streams, it shows all the live viewers, and of course it counts all the partners and affiliates, which is a count of 48. So, yeah, our goal is to try to get everyone at least an affiliate on our team. There's still some people left that aren't. Some have chosen just not to, so that's understandable. But those who want to become affiliate, that's our first goal, is to get everyone affiliate who wants to do it. And then we'll slowly try to help each other out, get to that partnership level as well. So, yeah. Check out that community page, and this leads to our last segment of the podcast, which is this week's Streamer of the Week, which is also a page at croakitoad.com in the drop-down, and it shows
I knew that, though. I knew that.
Okay, you knew this one. Okay.
I did.
So, yeah, if you go Streamer of the Week, it shows the current Streamer of the Week, which was last week's Week 18 honoree, which was Agatha, 2-time winner there. And then if you scroll down, it shows all 18 winners dating all the way back to the very first one with Lucinda But we're going to go ahead and announce this week's streamer of the week. And this guy here is a first-time winner. He came back to streaming with lots of streams this week. He did 3 different streams, and he's been in the middle of process of moving halfway up the eastern seaboard on the eastern U.S., and he finally had enough time to like get moved into his new place and be able to sit down and stream for a little while. And he also celebrated a birthday on Wednesday, and he streamed during it. And we did a bunch of multiplayer and stuff, so that was really cool. But we're going to drop this week's Streamer of the Week to Hype911.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. I'm so sorry.
Are you serious?
I am very sorry. I hit the wrong button.
You had
That's my bad.
You had one job, and you.
I know.
My goodness! I can't wait for Hype to hear this, because remember, folks, this is one take. All right, Hype 9/11/2004. You are our Streamer of the Week, our 19th Streamer of the Week. Congratulations, hand clap SFX to Hype, and happy birthday to you back on Wednesday. First time winner, and that's for winning in streaming, and also being a part of the Mecha Chameleon clip as well. That's kind of gone a little bit viral, but yeah, lots of fun on Mecha Chameleon here lately, and playing lots of fun multiplayer like Dodgeball and stuff. But glad you're able to actually settle in, get a few streams in, and chill out and play multiplayer with the Croakitoad community. So congrats to Hype. And because of that, we are also going to play a clip from Hype's channel. And this is from 5 months ago. And this is when we were playing Peak together, one of our all-time favorite games we love to play. And this involves quite a few cast of characters here in the Croakitoad community. So we'll play this clip here from Hype's channel from Peak.
That thing away from my ass!
Tad, the way that you're standing right now, watch out, puppy. The way that you're standing in my stream, it literally looks like you're covering your ass at all costs right now.
It does, yeah.
You should take a screenshot.
Or you can make a clip on my stream.
Wow. Or you can just make a clip on my stream. Okay. Well, there you go. There's, yeah, I know. Feel called out. Jeez. Well, there you go. There's Hype being Streamer of the Week for this week. Congratulations. And definitely check out his content. And again, check out our community page on Croakitoad.com if you'd like to check out all of our collective streamers here as part of the Twitch team, as well as twitch.tv Croakitoad as well. My stream as well. Check it out. You can go to Croakitoad.com, and it's right there in front of you. And any other information you'd like to know is just right there on the website now. I'm telling you, it's like basically an encyclopedia of what Croakitoad is, the epitome of a Croakitoad and all angles of it. But with that being said, that'll do it for us this week here on episode 21 of Toad Talk Podcast. Thank you all so much for listening in each week and supporting the show. We appreciate you all very much. Thank you all for entering into the giveaway every week for the GTA 6 double giveaway that we're going to be doing in November. You guys know the hashtag. It was at the appropriate spot on the podcast this week. So it should be back to normal for you guys. And again, if anyone out there has any suggestions, ideas, things that you would like for us to cover, maybe a game trailer, maybe a movie coming out, throw us a link in the comments, Spotify or YouTube, and we'll take your suggestions under advisement. Like, we'd love to hear your feedback on our topics. And if you'd like for us to go into a topic of debate or conversation over anything that obviously is within our realm of what we discuss here on the podcast, we'd love to hear it and bring it to our attention. But yeah, overall, thanks everyone for tuning in and listening. And we'll be back next week with more Toad Talk Podcast. Grem, I'm going to hand it over to you. Do you have anything left to end it off with?
No, just the normal, stay radical and stay radical to each other. And hopefully by the time next week, Raji's rocket will come back from the moon. Apparently he might have forgotten something up there. And, we'll see Raji next week.
Yeah. Yep. Hopefully we will. It's starting to get a little, I don't know.
We'll just do a little observation and,
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything that we do.
Just play it by ear, as they say.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you for episode 22.